Hello everybody, and welcome to a little bit of a different video here on the channel. I want to tell you a secret, which is that I don't actually play all that much Geoguessr. I usually only play it when I'm recording a video for this channel, which sadly is not very often, thanks to, university and stuff, life getting in the way. But I do spend a lot of time on Geoguessr, mostly not in the game, but on the map maker, making maps such as Geodetective Africa, the locations for which you can see behind me right here. It's a little bit of a spoiler, but I mean, are you going to memorize all these? No, you're not. Now, you might have heard about that because I've mentioned it multiple times on this channel already, but what you haven't heard about is Geodetective Oceania, and I'm going to need to record some B-roll of this while my face is not in front of it, but Geodetective Oceania, a whole new map that I've created this past half year, and sure, I'll show you the different locations you can find in it. There you are. This is the area you can expect to be in. This year I also started hosting little events here on YouTube where I get together with fellow YouTubers to challenge them in secret theme challenges, which are maps that I've also created myself. And generally I just have a lot of maps to my name at this point, some of which are higher quality than others. Well, if you haven't been spending as much time making maps as I have this year, you might not have noticed, but a couple months ago, in October I believe, Geoguessr officially announced and released a new map maker, which looks like this. I cannot show you what the old one looked like, because it's not here anymore. It's been replaced. Given the situation that I just explained to you, I feel like it only makes sense that I should go over some of the new features and some of the features that are no longer here to say what I think. Just give you my 2 cents. We're going to go from just straight up bugs to things that I think are lacking, to things that I would like to see in the game but are not necessarily needed, to just total dreaming. And I've tried to do a little bit of research as well into the tools that people use instead of this map maker, and also just the wishes that people seem to have as to what this map maker could be. So, strap in. I don't know how long this is going to be, but we'll get right into it. Say I have been making this map with places from Weird Al songs. Now, I have. Let's edit it. It's got 8 locations so far. I still have yet to publish it. Have not published it yet, because I want it to be absolutely perfect before I do. Now, I have just thought of adding a location in Albuquerque, New Mexico, from the song Albuquerque. Let's find the world-famous Albuquerque Holiday Inn. Let's put down a little man on the Google Street View portion here. Let's walk it over to the main entrance. This is a good location. You can clearly read what it says on the sign. Let's point it towards north. Why don't we? This is a cool feature, by the way. You can click the compass to have it point north automatically. Very cool. And let's save the location. Now, what happened? We saved the location, so we would assume the location is the one we were just looking at over here, right? Let's have a look at what we just saved. Oh, this is a photosphere taken by Nick Shear. This is not what I wanted to save. I know why. It's because all that is really saved are the location coordinates, and so the photosphere happens to be on the same exact coordinates, or at least close enough that it takes precedence over the actual Google official coverage. But I think this is pretty serious, because you'd assume that pressing save location actually saves the location rather than changing it. And I don't want to have to always go back and check whether the right location was saved or whether it's a completely different one that was actually added to the map. Moving on to the next bug. There is this little subset of problems or bugs that I'm experiencing with the new map maker, but also with the last one, also with the old one, that I think might be Google's fault and not yours. And I think you might not be able to solve these, but I'm going to mention them anyways. The most egregious example of this first one is if you go to French, Southern, and Antarctic lands, there is a little photosphere, but the place that it'll actually take you is somewhere completely different. It takes you to actual France. I don't know if you can fix this, but it's just really weird that this happens. And this happens a lot, although not always as egregiously as that. Let's go to Kangaroo Island now. Right here where the ferry comes in, because here it happens to a lesser extent. Say I want to have a look at what this here photosphere looks like. There's a little blue dot. You can see it. Let's click on it. Oh, takes us way out into the water. Now I'm on a ferry, which is not where I want to be, because I want to find a 5K-able location, because I'm trying to make Geodetective Oceania here. So this location might be 5K-able, might be pinpointable, but I don't know because I keep being taken off of it. In fact, if I click any of these dots, I'll just be taken here. And these dots are all connected. I can walk all over the place, and in fact, I can walk down the pier and over to this initial location that I wanted to click, and there's a really cool sign here that tells me exactly where I am. I would love to add this location to my map, but currently I cannot, because if I click Save Location, it's just out there on the ferry again, and I hate that. So the only location out of all these locations by the harbor I can actually save is this location, because this is the location that every one of these other locations just for some reason map to. Please, Geoguessr, let me pick this location out here. I would really like to. And then there's another final problem that I think might be Google's fault. This is a major bug. Well, I mean, it doesn't come into play very often, but it's really weird. And I kind of want to mention it here for that reason. If we go out here to French Polynesia, there's this island called Rimatara that I'm afraid to click on. Because if I walk down the road on this island, then that for some reason just breaks Google Street View. I'm not going to do it right now because then I'll have to restart my computer. I'll probably do it as the last thing. It doesn't crash my computer or anything. It's just that when I click on this, the image doesn't change. And if I go to somewhere else on Google Street View, anywhere else on Google Street View, this is the only image that I'm going to see from now on. Like, this image is just stuck on my screen whenever I go into Google Street View, and I don't know why. It's such a weird bug, and it's definitely not urgent, because this only happens in very few places in the world. This is just weird, and I wanted to mention it. Alright, moving on to things that are actually on Geoguessr and is actually for the Geoguessr creators to fix. What is with the My Map section? I know this is not part of the new map maker, but like, why is it that they are all on the same page and they take up so much space that I have to scroll down forever and keep pressing this more button in order to find the one I'm looking for? Like, say I want to keep adding things to the places from Weird Al songs, I gotta scroll down all the way down like that. Why is it not better than this? Like, why? And also, say I want to publish the places from Weird Al songs map, there's a handy little button so I can publish it right here. I'm gonna publish this, yes, and I'm gonna edit it. But oh wait, when I publish it, it throws me all the way back up to the start of the screen. And now I gotta scroll back down through all the more buttons until I find it eventually. Okay, so before we're done talking about bugs and talking about the My Maps page, I need to talk to you about the most egregious bug I've found so far, and this must be a bug. Follow me as we scroll down my Maps page. Let's just have a look at the different maps we find. Oh, here are a couple of my secret theme maps that I played with people on YouTube. Here's my second one. Oh, and here's my second secret theme map again. In fact, let's just follow these two links and see where they lead us. Both of them lead us to the exact same place. These are the exact same two web addresses. I cannot fathom how this happened. It's quite funny to me, but it's not the worst part of this bug, because I feel like the other bug I want to talk about next is related to this. Say I want to find secret theme number 3, which is a map that I've made, but I haven't published it yet. Okay, I've scrolled all the way down to the bottom of my Maps page. Now let's search for number 3. It's not here. Number 2 is here twice, but number 3 just does not show up. And this is not even the only one. I showed you my troll map before. Let's search for troll. Yeah, no, that's not here either. I've got a map called A Viewpoint of Every Capital. Let's search for capital. Yeah, it's not here. They haven't been removed, because I looked at my history, my browser history, and I was able to find links to these maps. Luckily, they haven't been deleted, but that's just so weird. How did this happen? Like, what? How has this happened? I don't know. I feel like this is a problem that probably should be fixed pretty quickly. The first suggestion I wanted to talk about, I've already kind of touched upon. It is, please, can we fix, or at least improve, the My Maps page? Make a search bar, or make categories. In fact, that would be pretty cool if we could actually give our maps tags so people could more easily search for them just in the search bar, the standard search bar up here. That would be pretty cool. That would be pretty awesome. Like, pinpointable could be a tag. Just throwing out ideas here. Okay, so I call this part suggestions, but really it's just changes that I think would make the site more intuitive. So it's not like wild, dreamy ideas. I'm gonna get to those. I've just got some things that rub me the wrong way, or buttons that don't do what I think they would do. Things that could be changed for the better. Okay, this is actually funny. I was going to open my map of Faroe Islands drone photos, but it appears that my map of Faroe Islands drone photos is not on my Maps page. It's been removed just like those other ones. Let's open the Danish drone photos one then. Let's click the link right here, and this will take us to the map page. This is the page that other people might find if they search for this map. And from here, there's a handy button to edit the map. This button is only there for me, of course. And if I press the back button that is up in the corner... Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Ah, no, not what I wanted to do. Not what I wanted to do. Oh, nope. Nope. Uh-oh. There. Okay. Now, here we go. If I click this button that says back, what do you think it would do? You'd think it would take me back to the map page, right? But it doesn't. It takes me to my Maps page, and now I have to scroll down. Hopefully, well, luckily not that far to get to the edit button to get back. But, you know, it doesn't take me where I thought it would be, which is the map page where I came from. That's what a back button would do, right? Weird. Next suggestion. Okay, here's another softball. Please, Geoguessr, allow us to choose just more skies, more grounds, more landscapes, and more decorations for these map avatars. I mean, I'm a little child. I want more playthings. I'm tired of having to choose between the tractor and these deciduous trees when I'm making a map for Denmark. Allow me to make more unique avatars, please. Just fill out this grid here. I know you can tell there's room for 15 different grounds, but there are only 6 to go around. I don't know. It's a little thing. It's a tiny thing, and you could easily add this. So please do. I would be glad. Here's a real suggestion, though. Imagine I just opened this map editor just to quickly add a photosphere that is a drone photo that I just discovered in Vilsene here. I would go in here, I would press exactly where the photosphere is. Ah, great drone photo. And the compass is almost pointing in the right direction. Let me just point it in the exact right direction, so this would be north. I'm going to press save location and go back. Now, tomorrow when I re-enter the editor, to my surprise, it's not there, even though I pressed save location. Yeah, it's a little weird, is what I'm getting at here, that the button says save location when it does not save anything. It doesn't save anything. You do have to press save map before the location is saved. And I know this is a small thing, but it's also a small fix. Just reword it. Just say add location or something. If I could get this changed, I would be happy. Also, here's a different, similar thing. I want to add this again now. I press save location, and then this is the map that I'd want to have published now, the one that is on my screen. I can't imagine anyone would now press the publish button without wanting to publish what is on their screen. But if I press the publish button right now, there's no warning about the map not being saved. So if I go back and then re-enter the edit menu, the location is still not there. I have to press save, and I am aware, by the way, that I've turned off autosave, and that might be a weird thing to do. Most people would have it turned on. But for anyone who turns it off, for whatever reason, it's there. You can turn it off, so why not implement safeguards for when people have turned off autosaving and publish, believing they're going to save the map. But I really feel like publish should maybe be renamed to save and publish, just because that, I think, is what it should do. If you don't do that, then at least have some kind of safeguard when people press the back button, or if people just close down the tab, have some kind of pop-up telling them, are you sure you want to do this? You've got unsaved changes. Because as it is right now, I can make an unsaved change. I mean, save location doesn't save it. And then I can press back, and nothing is warning me that I didn't save anything. That's something that most computer programs do. That's one of the golden rules, actually, of UI design, if I remember my Schneiderman correctly. Alright, next suggestion. Let me show you something that has haunted me for over a year now. Let's go to Geodetective Denmark, which is my no-move map of Denmark. Who's this? On the second place on the leaderboard. It's me, because I accidentally played a game and guessed all the locations correctly. So now I'm second place on the leaderboard, and I would really like to not be. First of all, because it makes me seem like a butthole who plays my own map to get on the leaderboard. Second of all, because now this means I can only see 3 of the people on the leaderboard, and I would love to be able to see all 4, because I love to look at people's scores when they play my maps. I would love for there to be just an option to not allow myself to get on the leaderboard, to not count myself as one of the people who have explored my map. Because I test my maps all the time. That's how this kind of thing happens. I test my map, and then sometimes I forget to quit the game in the middle of the 5th round, and I accidentally guess on the 5th location, and stuff like this happens. Let's do something fun now. Let's go to Geography Challenges YouTube channel, because I recently, or semi-recently, did a collab with him. Yeah, so I challenged Geography Challenges and Harrier to play a map with a secret theme, and of course, to do that, I made a map and created a special challenge link. And this challenge link really is special because I played the map again and again to make sure I got a challenge link where all of the locations were in the correct order, which is also a feature that's not in the game. I had to just keep making challenge links until I got one that was the right order. I'm gonna get into all of that later. For now, let's just press the challenge link. And what information do we have here? Not enough, I would say. It says the name of the map. Can this be a link to the map? I get that this map might be a private map, an unpublished map, and I like that you're able to make challenge links for unpublished maps. Don't remove that ability, but it would be awesome if this map was published, which it is, you know, to be able to click it to get some information about it or to make your own challenge link. Also because the map page is the only location where people would be able to read the description of the map. I would love if you maybe put down here at the bottom of the screen where there's room, the description of the map that people are about to play. That'd be awesome. And while we're talking about descriptions, let's open Geodetective Africa once again. This one has got quite a long description. In this description, one of the things I inform people of is that the compass does not always work for these locations. And to mitigate that, I have made sure to always point the player in the direction which is north. But as I said, a lot of information that I think is important goes in my descriptions. But I have noticed that if I try and change this description now, I think there might have been made a change that decreases the amount of words I can have in my description. If I just get rid of a couple of letters from my description and try to write something else. Can you hear that? I'm hitting my keyboard, but nothing is getting written down. Why did you change this? What? I mean, I appreciate that you grandfathered in my old descriptions so that they're still allowed to be as long as they are. But why can they not be as long as they used to be? And while we're at descriptions, let's go to the Weird Al map. Let's say I want to add some more lines to the description. This might have been changed recently. I think I remember something about this, but if I just add 2 new lines and then start writing some more, like press save, then in here I believe, yeah, look at that, multiple lines. You might not be getting excited from seeing that, but I'm excited from seeing that. Let me just publish this and make sure, because if this is really saved, then that is awesome. And well, it hasn't been implemented, so look, please allow us to have line breaks in our descriptions, please. I mean, you have the scroll bars, I've seen them. Simple suggestion, on to the next one. Did you know, dear viewer, that there are 2 features that were in the old Map Maker that has since been removed in the new Map Maker? Did you know that? No, you maybe didn't, and I feel like these features are easy to overlook, but I used both of them. The first feature is the feature that I can most easily live without. I might just cut this from a video because it's so unimportant. The other button that is missing from the new map maker is one that I used a whole bunch, especially for this map, the Drone Photos of Denmark map, which I realize now that my face is covering that title. I should have put my face over on the right side of the screen for this one. The way I went about finding drone photos in Denmark is I found drone photos in famous places, and then I would go to the Google profiles, or the Google Maps profiles of the people who took those photos, and then I would specifically go looking for drone photos in their repertoire, and I guess in their portfolio. That way, since I knew they had a drone and a 360 camera, I could more easily find drone photos. But the button that I used to do that is gone for some reason. So now I have to go to Google Maps manually, just type it in the in another tab, and then find this same photosphere, click their name, and that way get to their profile page, which is, to say the least, a little more of a hassle. So I would really like that button to come back, the Open in Google Street View button. And to be even more wishful with my thinking, I would love to be able to browse just one person's portfolio of photospheres right here in the map maker, because a lot of people take a lot of photos that aren't photospheres, and it's kind of tedious to scroll through. If I could somehow just press a button and then the map maker would show me all the places where that person has taken a photosphere, that would be awesome. Wishful thinking, I know, but you know, just putting it out there. Okay, so we're getting into the part now that I would classify as wishful thinking. I do want to be hopeful though, and I do want to mention all of these because one of the items on my list here were recently added to the game. Let me show you this map that I've also made. The title's in Danish, but it is the town crests of different Danish cities, and also the same map is on my Maps page twice. Okay, well, let's go to it. I've already positioned the player so that they're facing towards the city crest. It's way back there behind the tree, but what would be awesome is if I was also able to save this location as it is with the zoom level intact, so that people would be not only facing the city crest, but also zoomed in on it. I think that would be pretty cool, and I think it's just been added to the game. I haven't tested this officially, but I noticed zoom levels being weird while I was making my other map. Let's publish the map. Let's just go to the edit page again and open that same location, see if it isn't all the way zoomed in, and it is. Geoguessr is saving zoom levels, and I haven't seen anyone talking about this. This is an awesome addition. So that's been added. Wonder what else could be added in the future. Let's go to my Faroe Islands drone photos map that I did mention before wasn't in my Maps page, but it's still searchable on the website. Let's go to it. Disregard the fact that I've liked it myself. Compass is often inaccurate, but I've made sure you'll always start out pointing north. Go to this location, for instance. The compass is just barely not correct. Let's have a look at this location. The compass is entirely incorrect because, as you remember, I'm actually facing north right now, but the compass thinks I'm facing east. What I would like is a button, perhaps right here below the preview image, a button that says Overwrite Compass. Press that button, and now the compass will start pointing in this direction rather than the wrong north that it's currently pointing. So I'm not trying to change the data that is on Google Maps or Google Street View. What I want is something very similar, and I want to be clear about this, something very similar to the way that I can currently save the direction that I'm looking. The map maker is already saving both the tilt of where I'm looking and the rotation of where I'm looking, so why shouldn't it be able to also save the offset rotation of the compass? There are so many good locations, especially for no moving and drone photos like this, that are just ruined by the fact that I cannot fix the compass. Yeah, I would really love for this to be added. And I have another suggestion, or wishful thinking, kind of like it. Alright, I've gone to the Danish drone photos map for this one, because I want to propose that maybe not only allow us to fix the compass, why not, when I find a great drone photo like this of Randers Fjord, this is the formation you're seeing below me, it's just not at all where the drone photo is placed on the map. My suggestion is simple, just allow me to choose a different place so that people will get judged based off of the location that I've chosen and not this weird wrong location that the person who took the photo has chosen. So again, I don't want to change the data on Google's website, on Google's end, just locally want to change it for my map. Again, as you do with the zoom levels, and as you do with the rotation. I also have to say, please, when we press the import and export buttons, allow us to save the direction we're looking. Allow us to save the zoom levels. As I said a couple minutes ago, you allow us to only save the location, so not even the photosphere is saved. All the cameras will be facing north when I export them. That's just not great. So I would love for you to, at some point, make the shift, make the change that something like the Map Maker app, which of course you know about, has already done, where they use JSON. I mean, the file type doesn't matter. You can use CSW. Optimally, store the panel ID. Store information that is unique to the actual photosphere that we want people to look at. You know, being able to choose, and this is also something that's on my wish list, being able to choose outdated footage or footage that has been overridden by, you know, unofficial cars that have been out. In general, if you default to using Google coverage over using unofficial coverage, I think a lot of maps made by noobs will also be better. Just choose the Google image over the unofficial image, please, just as a default. So while I'm in the drone photos of Denmark map, I want to show you this spot right here. There's a drone photo, but in fact, it wouldn't look like it. There are multiple drone photos all in this exact same location. Since they're on top of each other, I can only ever choose this one photo, and this is not the best photo out of the bunch. I would love a way that I could just paste the link to the photosphere from Google into the map maker, and that way I could choose a very specific photosphere without having to click it on the map. Let's move my face over to the right. Why don't we? Yeah, just have me be here, I guess. Okay, this is going to be a massive spoiler if you haven't seen or played my Geography Challenges and Harrier collaboration, where we played Secret Theme. This is the Secret Theme map we played, and all the locations were in a straight line right on the prime meridian. That was the theme. All the locations had to be kind of close together, and that meant that the scoring for this map was less lenient than it would have been if it was a, you know, entire world map. And I would love for that to be customizable. In fact, I would love, for example, an option which would just be very much not lenient, and you either got 0 points or 5,000 points. That would be cool for a map. You know, maybe two different sliders, one for how close you have to be to get 5,000 points, and one for how far away you have to be to get 0 points. And maybe we can even add scoring that is not based off of distance, but maybe based off which continent or which country you are in. That would be really cool. And of course, put in the comments if you can think of any other cool scoring mechanisms that you would like to see in the game. I personally have a final wish that I really want to see, and it's specifically for maps like this, Secret Theme maps, where I've picked 5 locations, but I want them in a really specific order. So how about we give players, or we give map makers, the ability to create custom challenge links for their own maps. And that way, they could also generate challenge links that they know for sure do not have repeat rounds. And for something like the Secret Theme Challenge, where I really want the locations to come in a certain order, have a button on this screen that says Create Challenge Link, and I'd be able to pick from the locations that are in my map, put them in the challenge link in a certain order. I would love that. And I think a larger point that I could be getting at here is that Geoguessr, the way it is right now, is kind of geared towards massive maps that provide tons of replayability, but I would love for the maps that have less locations in them, perhaps higher quality, perhaps specifically chosen, but fewer locations, to be able to also be replayed to the extent that you'd expect them to be able to replay. Basically, could we maybe allow map makers to bundle the locations in groups of 5, and so every time a player plays these maps, they get one of those bundles. If a player plays the map and notices, oh, I've seen this bundle before, they know for sure that all the 5 locations in that game they've seen before. And then of course you could implement stuff like making sure players only ever see bundles that they haven't seen before until a certain point where they've seen all of them. Stuff like that would also allow people to not fill up their already crowded my maps pages with, let me just give you an example, stuff like the Dark Tourist series. I don't know if you know about this. This is a series of maps created by Demiximed. What they've had to do in order to make each game unique is they've had to just create, what's this, like 25 different maps with 5 locations each. We should allow for this to just be one map, but players could get a different experience every time. I feel like the game is not really optimized for anything but the type of map where there are tens of thousands of locations that have all been specially picked, so they're, you know, official coverage and they're all facing the road. And those maps are great, but there are a lot of smaller maps that could be more fun to play and make if the map maker and the way the game worked perhaps was a little less simple than just picking random locations from a set of locations. Or how about we allow people to create challenges without maps? If there are only 5 locations, those are basically a challenge and that's it. We don't need to have it be a map. Have a section of the website maybe for challenges. That could be an option. Just for little bite-sized 5 location challenges that people could share. It'd be like the TikTok of Geoguessr. Okay, so I'm gonna get into some things that I've seen other people wish for that didn't come to my mind, but I feel like should be mentioned because they deserve a chance to be put in the game. Okay, here's the first one. Say I found a bunch of flags on this wall in New Caledonia. This fits great in my Too Many Flags map, but say I also had a map called Flags from Territories That Aren't Countries. There are a couple territories here that aren't countries. New Caledonia, for one, is not a country. How about there was a little button down here that I could press to add it to a different map, like just a little drop-down menu that said add to other maps, and I could add it to multiple maps at once, just from this little page here. That could be pretty cool. Another thing is being able to add locations while playing something else, like if you find a good location for your map while playing Battle Royale or something. People want to be able to save that location, or maybe just instantly open a drop-down menu and put that location in one of their maps from the Battle Royale game. I don't know exactly how that would work. Perhaps you could have like a list of favorited locations, and if you play a location you really like, you can favorite that location and use it in some of your maps. That could be one way to do it. People, of course, also want the ability to tag locations like they can in the Map Maker app. I personally haven't used that yet, even though I have started to use the Map Maker app, and I will definitely be using it for the next Geodetective that I make, which I think will be Geodetective Europe. Enough about that. Another thing that you could add to the game is, and this is a big one, this is a really big one, cooperative map making, or collaborative map making, where you share a link or you share a map with a different Geoguessr player, maybe someone from your friends list, and now they can add locations or remove locations from the same map. The last thing I've seen people wishing for, which I personally think could be really fun as well, is custom country streaks, or just custom streaks in general. So what I mean by this is you'd be able to pick locations, specific locations for a country streak, or in my mind, I'm thinking just an endless game of Geoguessr that ends whenever you get something wrong. Like a country streak, but not necessarily with countries. So in this hypothetical map maker, you would pick locations and they would just have to see how far they'd get. So that could be guessing the correct country, it could be guessing the correct city, it could be guessing within a certain circle that the map maker has chosen, it could be just answering a question correctly about the location they're at, although that might be too much like a quiz. At that point, maybe just make quizzes public so that people can share their quizzes with other people. As it is right now, we can't play each other's quizzes like we can their maps, which is a little weird to me personally. But yeah. That was a lot. That was a lot more than I thought. And honestly, my voice is kind of straining from all that. If you are a Geoguessr developer, I hope you don't take my criticisms as signs that I am angry at you. Obviously, I really like the game, or I wouldn't be spending as much time making content for it as I do. But I really hope you do take some of these into considerations. A lot of these suggestions I don't think are too out there to be possible to implement. And I think a lot of them would make a lot of people very happy and open up for a lot of possibilities when it comes to making mini games and making maps in Geoguessr. And also, if you're watching this and you're not a Geoguessr developer, first of all, sorry that I kept saying you. I know there were a lot of instances during this video where I acted like I was talking directly to a Geoguessr developer and not a general audience. Second of all, if you have any suggestions, I will try to get the Geoguessr developers to see this video. Because of that, if you have any suggestions, put them in the comments, both to boost the algorithm on YouTube, but also maybe, just maybe, the Geoguessr developers will see them. Who knows? We can dream. I want to end this video by quickly shouting out my newest map, Geodetective Oceania. It has not been played very much. I challenge you. In fact, there are a couple challenge links in the description of this video. There should be no repeats. Also, if you haven't already, go check out my little playlist of secret themed challenges. There's more than the one I just spoiled for you today. That playlist is also in the description, or you can find it up here in the corner. There should be more regular Geoguessr videos coming out from me sometime after Christmas. If you can't get enough of me, or if you can't wait, then you can go watch a recent video that was just uploaded by GeoCookie, in which he held a tournament that I was in. Looking quite warm by the Black Sea, maybe Krasnodar or something like that.
Yeah, I feel like it's Southern Russia. So.
Oh! Oh, wow!
Wow.
It was. I was not expecting it to immediately go that well. I feel like I've proven myself now. That video is, of course, also in the description, and I believe it's going to be somewhere probably right in front of my face right now, as we speak. So you can move on to other things. I think I'll be moving on to a little bit of Christmas, so you'll have to excuse me for a little bit. Alright, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, that's great. Have a nice day, and bye-bye.